Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again with another Heroes of StarCraft mini set card review. And today, we've already looked at like multiple stuff today, but in this video, we're taking a look at the Demon Hunter Zerg cards. Are they going to smork us down? Yeah, probably. It's Demon Hunter. What else do? They go face. So take a look at these cards that could possibly line up to like OTK stuff. It's possible. There's some aggression here. There's some Zerginess. Again, we're going Zergy with all this. You want to win these cards? We have a giveaway going on for 3 mini sets out of my pocket. To enter the giveaway, like and comment to the video, link down description below. The one with that thumbnail over there. Be subscribed to the channel. Every 1,000 subs we get until that mini set comes out next Tuesday, I will add another one to that giveaway. So hit that sub button, make me go broke. Also, big shout out to Hearthstone, their first ever card reveal after all these years. Pretty cool to see. And starting off, we have a new card for Demon Hunter, which is accurate for a lot of my Twitch viewers. A Lurker, a 4-mana 2/6 Zerg minion. After a friendly minion attacks, deal 1 damage to a random enemy. Very similar to like that 2-mana 1/4 pirate in standard right now. That's just adjacent. This is all minions. However, if you attack with a Zerg minion, it will deal 2 damage instead, and that would include this itself, right? Lurker, if it attacks, it doesn't say another friendly minion, it will work on itself. And let's say this has rush somehow, we'll see in a second, it could have rush, that will activate. And yeah, anything on the board, 2 damage is a lot, right? You have like 3 minions on board, they all attack, that's 6 damage. It could hit minions, it could go face. That's pretty darn effective, pretty strong. And this is 6 health for 4 mana. Not the easiest thing in the world to remove, especially like coin it out early when you already have board pressure. This can be pretty annoying. I'm pretty happy that the pylon module for Ziliax has been nerfed already, because like these Zerg decks with like the health buff from Ziliax, that'd be pretty scary. So yeah, I mean, it all has to, you know, rely on the Zerg stuff to work. I don't think it's probably worth playing on just regular minions, but you're playing a deck with a mix of Zerg minions and regular minions, right? So even with that, you're not wasting a possible proc by just attacking with a regular minion. You're just not getting as much out of it. It seems solid to me. I could absolutely see the scene play in these token style aggressive decks. I'll give it a 3 out of 5 in standard, a 2 in wild, but yeah, that could be a lot of damage that, you know, picks up after time. And they have an empty board, they're dying so incredibly fast. If they're not, you know, fighting for it, and you have a bunch of stuff on board, this could just nuke really fast. If you're not, you know, you don't have that early AoE for some minions, you're just dead. So I almost want to bump it to a 4, but it's very win more. And a lot of these cards we've seen that are like this just don't really work, because if you really need that board, and removal is so good these days, you might just get like no value out of it. So I'm going to stick with the 3, but there is a possibility that this is absolutely cracked for sure. And well, you could play it alongside this new 2-mana Zerg spell, the creeptuma. It's not the Tuma. Well, actually, it's a creeptuma. It's 2 mana. Your Zerg minions have +1 attack and rush this last 3 turns. So this is like an aura for Paladin in Demon Hunter. Oh, okay. I mean, we've seen that before, like Alterac Valley. We have like all these aura effects. So I guess it's just weird that this feels like it's a Paladin card in Demon Hunter, but I guess with like the, well, actually Paladin's not even a Zerg class, so I don't even know. Regardless, yeah, that's a pretty powerful thing, especially with the mini we looked at before. All of a sudden that 2/6 is a 3/6. It has rush. It'll deal 2 damage when it attacks. Any other Zerg minions you play, yeah, for the rest of the game, or summon in any way, whether it's through your hero card or whatever, will also have rush, and that's really powerful. I guess if it was Paladin, they would also have lifesteal, right? That'd be the differentiating thing, but it's only 2 mana. This is relatively cheap to give everything rush for 3 turns, but if you play it on 2, then you only really get 2 turns out of it, unless, well, you already have minions on the board, then they already can attack, so the rush is irrelevant. But yeah, it's cheap, flexible, attack buff, proactive, could be really good stuff. Again, I'm gonna give it a 3. Again, it's limited to just those Zerg minions, right? It doesn't work on regular ones. So again, I'm really apprehensive. The more I review these cards, the more I'm like, is it gonna work with like the narrow amount of cards we have? There's not that many Zerg minions out there, right? There's only so many. But even like the Zergling, right, that summons a copy of itself, all of a sudden those are like 2/1s, so that's pretty good. Although, would it be a 2/1 and then a 3/1? Would it copy that buff first? I'm not even sure. It could work out that way. Regardless, yeah, I'll give it 3 out of 5 in standard, 2 out of 5 in wild. Again, I just don't see this shit happening. Or sorry, I swore. Whatever. I don't see this shit happening in wild. So we'll go with that. And lastly, I mean, you watch me on Twitch. It's all I do is swear. I gotta stay monetized on YouTube, okay? Lastly, here we have a card that can utilize this effect pretty well. It really wants this card really wants Rush in the Mutalisk, a 4-mana 5/2 Zerg minion. I like the art. That's really cool. Anyways, also damages next to whomever this attacks. So it's like a cleave effect, but this doesn't have Rush itself. So without that spell, this card's pretty awful, right? Or any way to, I guess you got like escape pod you could do, I guess, right? However, it also says, and the enemy hero if a neighbor is missing. I haven't had this confirmed yet. I asked, they weren't sure, but they think so. But let's say the minion's on the far left and you attack in and it, it'll cleave to the right. If it's missing on the left, that should just always go face, right? If you attack to the far left or the far right, this minion will always hit face. And that's 5 damage to the face minimum, unless it's been debuffed in hand, right? That's pretty strong for 4 mana. You do need to give this Rush. However, if it's got Rush, it's probably because of that spell that it's at 6 attacks, so it's dealing 6 damage to the face, and maybe you hand buff this in some way. And like I said, wild, there's like Lorthamar memes. I'm sure we'll get a Mark video with like Lorthamar Mutalisk OTK or something like that, where you could do incredible damage, but the card needs something else to make it work. And to make it work, is it going to win the game? Is it going to do the thing you need to do? It's more just incremental damage / board control, which could be okay, but it feels very situational, like kind of clunky. This is probably more of a random like Zerg minion you'll get from like the Broodmother or whatever, the little Shifter Xeris stuff. I'm not sold on this one. I just feel like any card that requires like multiple cards to work rarely works in today's game, when everything is given for free with a bonus half of the time. It feels like you don't have to work for nothing, and this card you gotta work for to an extent, right? And that rarely, if ever, works out these days. So I'll give it a 2 out of 5 in standard, a 1 in wild, but there's some spicy combos here. There's some possibilities for some like really crazy face damage with it. Although your opponent can also play around it by like playing taunt minions in the middle and then forcing you to attack in with your Mutalisk and not be able to go face. But then again, maybe you want to do that to control the board, right? So it's a pretty good board control tool. It's a weird one, but I'm just not entirely sold on it. So that's the Demon Hunter cards. I think next we have Warlock, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.